Hello, I'm Sami Laakso from Snowdale Design, and I welcome you to the stream. I'm going to draw some illustrations for Lands of Galzyr. Just a quick note: if anyone on the chat can tell that if the voice is okay, that would be great. Helps helps a lot, because I know that everything is working as they should, but the volumes should be picking up nicely and should be everything okay, but it's always nice to hear confirmation if someone can say that. Welcome to the stream, Happy Wolf, Burmuch and Chowbai, and Chowbai confirmed that the sound and everything is nice and clear, thank you. And also, if the music is okay or needs to be tuned, you can just ask and I can change the volumes. They change. I hear them differently on my ear than it comes to the stream, so it's hard to judge. So just those who do not know, Lands of Galzyr is an open world adventure game where you're an adventuring in Lands of Galzyr quite literally. So there's the same mechanism where you can continue the adventure where you left off your previous one. So if you don't know, there's links in the description and everywhere, so you should be able to find stuff. But I think you wouldn't be here if you wouldn't know anything about it. So today I would think I'm going to start by drawing one of the companions. So there's going to be here a companion card named Eddie and Kenzie. I'm going to show it bigger just in a moment. So I have started and make a rough sketch of it, but in this stream I hope we can together we can complete the drawing here, and if we have time we can even start drawing some other card as well. So these cards with the green background are companions, and you can just find them on your travels, or even that maybe it would be more suitable to say that they can find you, and they might want to join you for a while as you travel. Like for example, Eddie and Kenzie here, they have number 4, so they will stick with you for 4 days when you meet them. And let's see, here we can see the current state, and here's the actual card, in which state it is currently. So I'm just going to explain a little bit for those who don't know, so you have more context on what we're doing instead of just jumping right into the drawing. So here we have the name of the card, their species. This is the card type here on the top left corner, so you can see that it's a companion card. We have the unique card number here on the top right, and those are seen here when you pick up cards in the game from the library. They are here. We have number dividers, and then you can go through them. Like here you can see 158 for example, and then you can go forward to find the card that you're looking for. So Eddie and Kenzie is 282, so you'd go all the way here to find them. That's why it's sideways on the card, because they are stored this way in the card tray, so you can find the one that you're looking for like that. And then we have these tags. So Eddie and Kenzie are adorable, who would argue that, and they also have night vision, and sometimes the book of adventures will ask if you have a certain tag, and if you have, then it's usually a helpful thing for you. So Eddie and Kenzie can help you in some situations if the storybook asks, do you have the adorable or night vision tag. We have some flavor text. Then we have the actual mechanism or of what the card does. So Eddie and Kenzie helps in perception skill checks. So in the game you have your adventure board like this, and you have your skill circle. So there's 6 skills. So this, for example, is the perception here on the top left. If you're doing a perception skill check, Eddie and Kenzie will give you 2 successes, and that's huge. 2 successes helps you a tremendous amount. Well, there's 2 cats, 2 successes. And then we have climb. If you do a skill check with a verb climb in it, you can reroll up to 2. Here we have the custom dice, so that you use to resolve the skill check. So you will be able to reroll some of the dice that you're rolling in the skill check if you're climbing. And in addition to that, it has this delay keyword and number 2. So if you climb, you get to reroll up to 2 dice, and you also get to delay the timed effect, which is here on the bottom. You get to delay that by 2. So once that timed effect gets resolved, Eddie and Kenzie would get discarded. But if you manage to climb with them, they're like happier because cats love to climb. They will stick with you a bit longer. So in addition to helping you with climbing, they get excited and they like to stick with you if you might manage to find more spots to climb. So that's Eddie and Kenzie. It's a little bit of a spoiler that you can see, you see it, but well, the game will come with 480 cards. It's fine if you see one of them, and I bet most of you will forget it once you get the game. Let's see, there's some. Next we can start jump into drawing, but there's some comments. Hello Matt Warwick, and welcome to the stream. And thanks for the compliments on the campaign. It's not me who makes it amazing, but it's a combination of us together making it possible. Might have to rename your Kickstarter of the Year's awards now. Yeah, if you want to include Game Fund, you'd have to call something like Crowdfunding of the Year instead of Kickstarter. Welcome to the stream, Jeremy Powell. And yeah, glad you like the delay mechanism for Eddie and Kenzie. So the bonus is way better for the perception, so they help you a lot more with that. But they do stick around longer if you manage to find some climbing spots, so they're not quite as useful with that, but they do stick around longer. So in best case scenario, you get to do both a few times when they join you. And for those who don't know, they are actually my cats in the picture, or my previous cat and my current one. Eddie was the previous one that has suddenly, or not suddenly, but sadly passed away. But Kenzie's current one, and I wanted to make some homage for them by including them as a companion card in the game. And as such, I have some reference images in my in my document. This is the actual drawing, and I'm going to can't see the chat quite as often as I draw here on my second screen, but do write any questions if you have for the game, for drawing, for basically anything, and I'm going to constantly referring back and looking at what you're saying. So at the current time, I have done like let's put the background on. So I have these. The first thing I usually do is this rough outline. It's not going to be in the final card, so none of the final illustrations have outlines or line art visible, but that's the easiest way for me to start going. And then I start coloring in. Well, this is the string attached to the hat. He's on a different layer, so I can put it on top of the smaller cat more easily. Then I have used some base coloring, and then here on the left you can see the next layer is put on top of the previous one with this little arrow that you can might just barely be able to see. It like clips the colors on top. So these are the clothes. So I can just draw without going over the lines. So if I were to color here, for example, for any reason, you can see that it doesn't go over because it's clipping on top of this bottom layer. And then I have already added some super simple shadows. I'm going to continue from there, and then I have separate layers for the smaller cat named Kenzie. So as they are two separate characters, sometimes I use same layers for them, but sometimes I have different ones, so I can more easily move them if I want to change the composition. But let's put the proper background on. So this is how it will look on the card itself, and as said, I'm going to continue where I have left off, so from the shadows, and I think I'm going to move forward with both of the cats at like the same pace, so instead of finalizing the orange cat fully and then going to the other one, I'm going to draw them at similar paces. So now the right cat is missing shadows, so I think that would be a good place to start. And usually I have like the light coming from behind, and to keep it constant I have it on the bottom left, so that's why you can see that's the way that I have shaded the left cat. And going to do similar thing here. These can be at this point quite rough, the colors, and that's totally fine. I'm going to smooth it out and add texture and detail later. And as said, if you have any questions or comments in general about well, any of our games, but especially Lands of Galzyr, I would love to interact and answer to your questions and discussion points. I do assume that most of you here have supported the game on GameFound and know about the game, so I do want to thank you for your support. Welcome to the stream, Mira. And you don't need to apologize for not being able to be here from the very beginning, but I just started like 15 minutes ago, and now just after rambling for enough, I'm going to start drawing. There's a question from Burmuch. I do butcher your names, and I apologize for that in advance. You're asking if I can tell more about the achievements. Yep, so they're going to be, well, as in quite similar to what you know in video games, that if you do a rare thing, where you do something that's not like on the beaten path or hard to do, some rare things basically, the storybook will show like a notification that you have now unlocked certain achievement named that and that. And for those, you can either download a sheet, an achievement sheet from our website and print it out yourself. But if you have this adventure journal, here's a prototype of it. We are going to print on these very first pages here, and also the last pages here. We're going to print the achievements over here, and then you can just cross them off as you go, like with your pen. And they will have like rough hints in the name and a short description on how you might be able to do it, and especially when you have one scene played through a scene, you might be able to guess that, oh, this now I know that this achievement I might be able to do this in this certain scene, and then you can try start hunting them after that. Outside of that, the adventure journal has these pages that you can use to basically just write down your stories on what you did in each individual game. So the pages are identical, just page numbers here on the bottom. They have spots for like dates and did you play cooperatively, competitively, how much prestige you get. You can, for example, here in the crown mark that on top of the icons, and for example, who played which character, and some free space to write our own memories. And on the bottom we have 12 bubbles or circles that you can use to track which month you were playing in-game month, basically, for that. So it's like a tome of memories for you. Like I have used it already in some of the playtesting and used mark our own stuff in here, written out what we have made in the game. Hope that answered your Bermud's question about the achievements. And now I'm going to smooth out some of these hard lines on the shadows. In some like, let's say, drawing styles, they might look nice, but I'm not looking for like this kind of shell shading style in Lands of Galzyr, so I'm going to smooth out these transitions from the shadows to the lighter parts, like that. And those should be quite good. I'm going to add highlights on the... Oh, thanks for reminding me to change the camera. My bad. So I just smoothed out some of these shadows. Like I can like undo parts of them and show you what I did. Here you can see the lines on the shadows are these hard ones, but I smoothed them out everywhere. Next, over here, for example, like that. Thanks. It's not the first time I'm streaming, but it happens. So next I'm going to add texture. Making it less like look less like a computer drawing and more like a little bit of brush and physical pencil mark and things like that. So that's the main thing that I'm going after with this layer. And it can look a little bit rough first, but I'm going to fix it later with the following layers. And same for this. Same for Kenzie. Something like that. Fixing some of the colors. So the red isn't bleeding over, for example. Then I'm going to add some lighter parts. Permats is asking how many adventures do I plan in the future, and they have already seen Yame and Noko and Yumi somewhere, not sure where, but they can be seen somewhere if you're sneaky enough. So I have 2 extra adventures planned for future expansion after the base game has been released. And well, I did say like 3 names, but it's because 2 of those share a single adventure, so it's like a duo that's going to be 2 characters in one. So plans, we have plans for 6 adventures in total, but don't get too excited yet, because the 2 other adventures are not going to be part of this campaign. We want to first get this into your hands so you get to play it, and then we're going to release the 2 other ones later, because we are already hands full with everything that this base game has going on. Like now adding highlights on the characters. Mira saying, yay for more adventurers, although Boomer will probably be their favorite. The thought process behind adding more adventures is, well, you will be able to play the game with 5 and 6 players if you really want to, but personally I like it with smaller player counts, but it's for you to have more save slots that you can play with more friends, and your friends don't need to share different save slots, or you can even have multiple characters all by yourself, and then in each game you can decide which one of you want to play, and then you can like tune each character the way you want to play. So you can make Boomer the muscle who resolves everything with force, and then you can make some of the new characters to do different things. So you can have, instead of trying to change your own single character into different paths, you can have multiples that you can have different like themes going on with them. Welcome to the stream, Andrew. Thanks for the compliments. And saying that they usually play with groups of people, so it's great. Yeah, so even if you, I wouldn't recommend, or I can do recommend, if you know what you're doing, that you're going to increase the downtime, you can play with multiple 5 or 6 players at once. But it's nice to have more save slots for different players, that you can play with different groups and everyone will have their own adventure. Welcome to the stream, 2 tomatoes, and thanks for joining, and of course thanks for localizing the game in French and Spanish, so more people can enjoy the game. I'm going to struggle drawing, because usually my streams don't have quite as many people watching them, so I can concentrate on drawing more, and I'm not used to talking so much and can be hard to do that while I draw, but I'll do my best. Adding some highlights to Eddie's hat. If you have played some or basically any Dale of Merchants games, you can spot the cat on the left, Kenzie, I mean Eddie. Kenzie is on the right, Eddie is on the left. You will be able to spot him in different places in those games as well. Next, I'm going to add some highlights to Kenzie, the smaller cat. Here on the left we can see how this is more recent image of how Kenzie looks like, and this bottom one here, the middle bottom one, is when he was really small. He's about 1 year old and a few months on top of that, so he looks more like this. And I started drawing this card like months ago when he was so like this small, so I think I'm going to keep it that way, that he's really like a small kitten in the image. So that's why I'm going to keep his face and overall figure rather light, because Siamese cats start like when they're born, they are all white, and then they get darker as they grow older. Dave has some questions. How many cards and app reference numbers have you completed up to now? How does the game play in solo? So you're not asking how many of those there are in the final game, but rather how many are completed right now. Of the cards, we have about maybe 400 done or so of the 480, but those remaining cards are quest cards, and quests take a really long time to complete, so that's not entirely representative of how much work we have done left, but that's some rough idea. And we're going to have actually over 350 story scenes instead of over 300, which it says on the campaign page. I could update it. We are going to have nearly 400 story scenes, and roughly maybe 200 or so of those are more or less complete. But we have really good idea what we are going to do with the rest. So they are allocated like this many events, this many local statuses, this many locations, and so forth. And how does the game play in solo? So the rules in the game are really similar, no matter how many players you play with. It's just you're adventuring, having good times, and trying to gather prestige by helping folks and doing noteworthy feats. So with solo, you're just missing out on some of the partnering up, where you can have 2 players on the same space, and then the other one can help you in skill checks. But outside of that, it's really similar. There's no, even the competitive and cooperative game modes have no rules differences. The only difference is when the game ends. If you're playing competitively, you play until someone gets enough prestige to win, and if you play cooperatively, you play a certain number of rounds, and then the game will rank your success based on your total earned prestige. So there's really small differences based on player count and game mode that you're playing. Mira says that the left cat Eddie looks really much like a cat that they had when they were a child. Yeah, it's an orange tabby. Add some highlights to his ears and paws, make them so you can see individual like fingers better. Vermont is asking, do I have plans for negative interactions without adventures? I'm not quite sure what do you mean negative interactions without adventures. If you can try to ask your question in a different way or elaborate, I should be able to answer, but I'm not quite sure what you mean by negative interactions without adventures. Andrew is asking, have I thought about including a quokka in the game? I think it would fit in the Dimery and your art style perfectly. Dale of Merchants 3 has, I don't have the game board right now, I'm going to take it, but Dale of Merchants 3 has quokka on the market board, and it was voted by the backers of the Kickstarter of Dale of Merchants 3. We had votes where people could choose and vote for their favorite animals to be included in the market board, and quokka won, and I drew it on the market board. There's even a recorded stream in this YouTube channel where you can go and watch if you want to. But why not? Lands of Galzyr could also have some quokkas in it. Burmats, can you fight with other player or something? So maybe it wasn't. Maybe you didn't mean without adventures, but rather negative interactions between the adventures. There are some, but I don't want to spoil too much about them. But you don't have too many options on how to hit your opponents. But there are some hidden in the game, but not like you can do it all the time. But sometimes there are interactions like that. And without spoiling, there are these location cards on the game board, and one of them, let's find where it is. These are in some pretty random order right now. Can I find it? It's not there. It should be here. Here. So we have this. Let's see if I can closer so it might focus better. I'm not sure where it's focusing. If I go off screen, maybe it focuses or not. Seems like it's not wanting to focus. But you can see this green icon here. This is one of the locations. It's this arena here. You can team up. This icon means that you can partner up with another player if you are on the same space. So if you go to Rienstum, you can go to arena together with another player, and you can only imagine what might happen if you go to arena with another player. But in this case, both players must agree first to be on the same space, and then they must agree to let you help, and they can help you. But this is one of the places where you can always go and interact with other players, and this is like the central city on the game board, so it's most easy to access to. So we have thought and created this, so this might be something that your game group will find really funny and do often, but you will have to go and play it by yourself when you get the game. Andrew voted for the quokka, but might have missed the stream. Yeah, Burmats meant indeed between adventures and not without. That makes a lot more sense. And now I did turn back the stream to my correct screen. So I'm starting to be quite happy with the colors. Maybe adding some definition still here on the scarf. It was looking quite flat, but we should be able to fix that. And I think we can move to the more or less final layers. This will be what I call detail layers, and these are where I less modify the current ones with different layer styles and whatnot, but I just draw on top of everything and add detail and definition everywhere. Like some fur, for example, here. And I usually like to, like here we have the outlines. I like to turn these even lower, and I will turn them off entirely when the drawing is complete. I usually like turn the opacity down small bits while drawing. Let's see, the nose. The nose is way easier when it's clearly different color, but Kenzi's nose is so similar in color to his snout otherwise, so I'm going to play with some highlights. Let's actually move some of these. So I can get a better look. While still staying all the way zoomed. And this is basically where I just draw on top of the previous layers as long as I feel it's necessary to get the drawing completed until I'm fully satisfied. Usually quite randomly jumping from place to place. Like I see a place, I think it needs adjustments, and then I just jump and draw something until I jump back again in a different spot. It's actually been a while since I last drew some characters, so thought that I might be somewhat rusty, but I think it's going kinda okay. This is actually a addition that while I try to keep the Eddie's look consistent between different games, like here on the bottom, for example, I did add this what I call a string, this brown string, to his hat, just so Kenzie would have something to play with. Wanted them to be interacting with each other in some way. So that's what I came up with for that. Not entirely happy with the eyes. I thought it intentionally drew them somewhat larger than they actually are, but I'll see if I can make some changes. First, let's shrink that a little bit and turn it further away. That helps already a lot. Actually, don't even need to change the other one. Yeah, already a lot better compared to that. Let's start adding detail to edit for change. We'll have to try different shapes for the eyes, but it is not really hunting right now, so and it's not too bright in this background, so the eyes can actually be quite round, or the pupils. Might actually want to make Kenzi's eyes a little bit rounder actually too. Makes him, well, more playful. I think I can maybe want to make Eddie look a little bit more threatening, so there's more contrast between them. Always have to pay close attention to eyes, and usually have work on those quite long compared to the other parts of the illustration. Just something that immediately catches your eye when you look at an image, but you just look at the eyes. Just something natural for us to do. So I have to pay close attention to that. it's for those wondering, it's completely intentional that Eddie's, like, from our perspective, the right side of his face is more white compared to the left. It's somewhat visible on this night image here, and less, just a tiny bit visible here, but well, this is from Dale of Merchants 1. It's bad, it's rubbish. I'm better than that. He has he had like way more white on his left side, right side in this case, so I want to be faithful for that. Happy Wolf recognized the music. Yep, there's some, maybe it's with two B's. I think Kubbi and not Kubi. But yep, you did recognize some of the music on the stream. Ville is having some game demos on at a Finnish board gaming cafe, and every player has loved the art on the cards, and in this case Dale of Merchants demo sessions. Burmerch's daughter loves the art. She loves cats. That's nice to nice to hear. Like, there's two kinds of people: those who love cats and those who don't love them yet. Ville wants Genji cam for later streams. I would have to bait him into like sleeping in a specific spot, and then, well, I could have more cameras for that. Currently he's sleeping there on the one of those chairs. saying that there might be a frame drop. I have dropped 0.3% of all frames, so there can be frame drops here and there, but they shouldn't be too severe. I probably could improve that by having a LAN cable, Ethernet cable from my computer to my modem, but my current setup wouldn't allow that too easily, so I'm left with using Wi-Fi, and usually works quite fine with some frame drops here and there. Or maybe it's on your end. Bartek said I wasn't watching for a couple minutes and the cats look way less sketchy already. Way less sketchy. Yeah, like this is the last layer that I have drawn on Eddie. Makes quite a difference, and here's the same for Kenzie. So this is the, as I said, this is the like the last layer that I add, but it's the one that like combines everything together. have a nice weekend too, Will, and thanks for the well wishes. Let's see, I'm still missing whiskers and also detail on the straw, but that's because it's on top of everything else, so I have to do that separately. And I might need to do some cleaning up with Genzi on the right as well still. Mira is loving the ice, thank you. I'm thinking if I want to make them all straight or maybe a little bit jagged, like jagged, and so I often like to do that when I'm portraying some of these characters more older, and maybe they're seeing things. Have some more experience, like maybe in real life Eddie didn't have his ear partly beaten off, but I thought that what he might look if he were not an indoor cat, so to say. Just spotted that. I think I don't like where his ear is currently. I'm going to move it a little bit, which is a good thing with when drawing with computer, that I can just cheat. Yeah, I think it's way better at that position. Sometimes it takes a while to notice. Just need to fix the part where I moved the ear a little bit. Let's add polish to the string here. Thank you for the compliments, Lion. Glad you like the pictures. Let's see if I want to brighten the whole string a little bit, so it has more contrast compared to the hat, like that. Not sure which one I like more. Maybe this one, and I'll just add more highlights to it. I think it's still missing like shadow behind this. Not that strong shadow, but getting quite close to being done with this one. Still thinking I'd probably have to do some polishing with Genzi here on the right. I should also sometimes check how it works or how it looks on the actual card here. I think I'm going to move or place Genzi's right ear on top of the... Let's do it immediately. Sometimes pop something on top of these elements, not doing it all the time. It can kind of grow old, but sometimes I won't like to do it. And I think this is one of those. Still going to add some more definition to Genzi. Or like I missed his tail entirely because it was behind the other photos and I like forgot that it existed. But that's quite a fast fix. Oh, and I should do whiskers for Genzi as well. Let's see if I had them sketched out. Let's see how it looks now. Almost there, I think. Let's see on a white background. Sometimes can see something that was missed otherwise. Starting to be really happy. Really happy with the image. Or illustration. I guess that's more appropriate term in this case. And then I often like to add just a tiny bit contrast the whole thing. Not that visible here, but just boosting the colors ever so slightly. Bartek says like when they're painting miniatures, you're done and happy, but still there will be some highlights or details to touch. It's hard to stop. Bermans is saying the same. Yeah, like this is the spot where I can like polish and polish and polish. And it's hard to get caught when you're like looking it this close. When people will never see this close because it's so tiny picture, and then on the screen it looks so huge. So just need to know when to stop when it's good enough. But I think this is really nice, like as it is right now. It's been 1.5 hours. It's usually quite a nice length for these streams. I rather do a few extra streams or multiple instead of one extra long. I might be able to demo the game like immediately on the Discord channel. If people are interested in that, you can drop by there. The link should be down in the description if you're not on the Snowdale Society Discord channel quite yet. But I think I'm going to set up the game on the table next to me and like demo it for a little while. I think that would be nice ending for the Friday. But this is what got to draw here, and yeah, even though it's a small spoiler that you know that this kind of card exists, like Bartek said that can't wait to meet them in Galzyr. Yeah, you don't really know where you can meet these, and most companions can even be met in multiple places, and you don't know what happens with them or what happens when you get them to join your party. So really small spoilers, but I thank everyone for joining, and well, I'm going to continue as said on gameplay demos on Discord in a little while. But everyone for here, thanks for being here and supporting the game. Bye.